Hello everyone, the title of this video is My Dog Ate the Joy-Con, Can I Fix It? We've got an 18-month-old groodle puppy, loves chewing everything. I've got boxes of remote controls up here in various states of being chewed up and not working. And she got hold of my son's Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons and has managed to chew this one, as you can see, quite extensively. And I did find, lying on the floor, this button with the spring, and this button, which seems to be intact as well, and then this little bit of plastic, which I don't know if that's got anything to do with it or not. So I'm going to try and reshell this and see if we can get it working again. It seems to have everything else seems to be there. She's chewed the sort of rubber on that piece, but I'm not too fussed about that. So I bought this little kit. So we'll take a look at these shells. We'll take this apart and see if we can reshell it and get the thing working again. Okay, so we're here on the bench. Here's the Joy-Con. This is the one with the minus button on. So let's have a look in this shell. I think it's the green one in this shells. So we'll open this up. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, the white one's the plus. Okay, so set the white parts aside. And what do I have here? So I've got two halves of the shell. I think that's the battery tray. And two little plastic buttons there. So that's what came in the kit. Now what we need to do is get this thing apart. Now all of these Nintendos use what they call a tri-wing screwdriver. So I've got one of those here. Not that one. This one. So I'm going to take it apart. And I think what we got 1, 2, 4 screws. So we'll see if we can get this open. I'll just move this stuff out of the way. Now I'm dropping it. Okay. They're very tiny pieces, so we do not want to go losing these. I've watched a couple of videos of fellas reshelling their things. None of them chewed up by a dog though. So we might find there's components in here that are squashed and no good. But hopefully we've got something we can work with. Okay. Four screws. Anything there? Okay, so with the screws out, apparently now we've got to pry this apart, but it's fell apart. There's a spring there, so we'll set that to one side. I thought I was going to have to do a little bit more work to get that apart. Oh, that's a ribbon cable there, so let's be careful. Okay. I think I might just get a bit more light on the subject. Now I can see what I'm doing. Okay. And it looks like we've got a couple of screws here. So I'll just check that out. Obviously got the battery there, which is going to have to come out, and then a few connectors. Oh, that doesn't look very, that piece there. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, we'll have a closer look at that as well. Okay, so let's have a look. So I don't know if you can see this. I'll use the screwdriver. So a screw here and a screw there. It looks like the second one might be missing. I think that's a Phillips. Yeah, that's a Phillips screw. So that's different. Okay, so tri-wings to get them open, and a Phillips here. Okay, tiny little thing. Yeah, we didn't have a screw on the second one. Now that's unusual because this has never been apart. This thing was bought brand new, so I'm very surprised at that. But it has been chewed up by the dog, so perhaps it got loosened and fell out. Look, you can see here, there's some melting going on. So I don't know, when the dog chewed this, it could well have caused some further damage, you know. So looking at that and looking at this piece here, I'm not holding out much hope that this is actually going to work, but we can try it, see what happens. Okay, so I think next thing to do is to get this battery out. Now, I've got one of these cheap eBay, AliExpress sort of kits. Look at that, that's not even stuck down very hard either. Okay. Put some glasses on. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, it's got a little connector on the board there. Alright, well I'll get that battery disconnected, and then I think we can take this piece out. Well, that's full Phillips anyway, so let's take that out. Let's get it out of the way. One. Two. I think that part there that is melted might be replaceable. What I might do with that is see if I can order one of those, and I might not even put this back together until I've got that part, because the melting bit doesn't look good to me. Okay, looks like there's a screw here which is holding this little board in place as well. I'll take it out. I don't know if I'm going to screw anything up here. Of course, there's 2 long and 2 short screws. I'm going to have to watch the video back to... there's one down here, look. Let me take that one out. Let's put that one back in. I'm not convinced I needed to take that one out. Yeah, look. Baby ribbon cable there though. Oh, of course I do. Of course I've got to take it out because I've got to take everything off, haven't I? Idiot. Alright, now that's on a little in there. Let's get that off the board, shall we? Ah, right, perfect. See how chewed up that is. So that's junk. Hope you're watching carefully, because I'm not sure. Let's move this camera down a little bit. Alright, what we got left? This looks like this. I don't know if that's going to survive either. Yeah, I am not convinced we're going to get this working again. But we'll persevere. I think I'm going to get this battery out before I can do anything else here. So apparently this cable just lifts up off the board. So yeah, there we go. Alright, battery's out the way. Now, looks like we've got a little cable there. Get it lift off. Okay. So I think this piece has got to come out, hasn't it? This is our melted. Oh my goodness. That doesn't look good. That's okay. We got a couple of screws on this. That's why that piece has got to come out, because try and be gentle with this. We got another one there. Let's lift that up as well. Oh, I don't know about that. Let's take that one out. Okay, that's that one out. So we've got 2 screws on this. I think I need to lift that up as well and get that piece out. Right, okay, let's try and get this. This is the vibration motor, so let's try and get that out. I think what I did is I'd actually managed to undo the screws. Yeah, that's vibration motor. So look at that. I think we're going to need a new one of those. I'll see if I can get hold of one. Now the other thing on this, I think I might leave this connected. I don't think that's a big problem. This button here, I think we've got that's supposed to have a button there. It's working. I don't know, man. I don't know if this is going to be any good. What's that? Oh, that's the other bit of the button. Oh my god. You know what? I think we might need a broken Joy-Con as a donor for this. Now this is all part of the same board, look. So this is that minus button, I think, under there, and yeah, I think we're going to need some parts. Okay, let's have a closer look at this. Yeah, look, that's knackered, isn't it? So I think that piece is the top of that button. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, onwards we progress. So there's our minus button. A couple of bits of that. What we got left? Oh, I think all this can come out in one go. I'm not too fussed about that. Let's put those to one side. Okay, we're free. So what's in here? Well, we got some buttons, of course. I think I'll just leave those in position. And what I can do, let's put them in here one at a time. Let's put old man fumbles with buttons. I think that's definitely, goes that way around. Yeah. Yeah, all the arrows pointing the right way. So that's okay. And then we've got this piece here. It looks like there's a little bit of glue under there as well. Alright, I got it. There's a couple of pins, we got to get that on. Alright, and that's in. And then our minus button. Yeah, we got a little cut out tab there. There we go. And the cover for that. Alright, so that's all our buttons in. Now we need to get this board back in, and the actual joystick. So feed the joystick through the hole. Assembly is the reversal of removal, as they say in all good car manuals. And anybody that's ever tried to fix a car with a car manual and they say that, you find it's easier said than done, generally. Okay, that's not too bad. Get the other screw. Once that's in, I'll be a little bit more comfortable. There we go. Now, of the 4 screws I took out earlier, there are 2 screws that hold this board in. So that's where I went wrong. I took them out and I didn't need to take them out at that stage. So I can put those 2 back in there. So it's that one there. You know, but if it's your first time taking one of these apart, you're never going to get it right. Okay, So there we go. So that's that in place. Now I've got to make a decision. Oh, look, I've knocked that button out. Well, I need to make a decision. One, do I replace that bit? And I think the answer is undoubtedly yes, because that's broken. And then do I replace that bit? Well, look how melted it is. So I think the answer is undoubtedly yes to that as well. So let me go and have a look on the good old interwebs and see what I can find. So I'm either going to need a donor Joy-Con, or I might just be able to get a hold of those two parts, and I'm going to take the whatever the cheapest option is. Alright, so I'll take a look. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, well, as luck would have it, they've got them on AliExpress. That's the piece it looks like I might want. What's ZL? I think it looks like ZR. But that would be the right hand side. Let me go through their pictures. Definitely looks like that piece, doesn't it? Let's get my part. Let's go back to the part we've got. Let's compare it to what's on the screen. Ah, look, is it? Yeah, that's the bit. That's definitely the bit. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So that's the component we want, $2.42. So I think I can stretch to that. My goodness, I found this one for 38 cents. It's not that one. That one, 63 cents. Ah, look, I found this one for 63 cents. Can't go wrong, can you? So let's add that to the cart. You know what? I might push the boat out and have two, because you never know, one might not work, and at that price it's worth buying a couple. Okay, and see they do the vibration motors as well, $1.79. Obviously we want the one from the switch with the wire on, so I'm going to go ahead, order those parts, and we'll resume the video when they arrive. Now they're coming from AliExpress, so this could take some time before I get this thing back together. Okay, we're back. It's some weeks later, and I have some parts that have been delivered to me. So what do we have here? We have some replacement springs, so that'll be useful later on. We have two minus button assemblies, and also two of these vibration motors. So this should hopefully get us into a good situation to start putting this thing back together and see if we can actually get it working. So if you'll recall from our last parts of the video, the earlier part of the video, this minus button was all chewed up, so it's all missing there. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at one of these assemblies and just see whether that's going to be what we need. Look at that. That's See, we have an intact button. Perfect. Now we just got to work out how it goes. So we'll put that in. Okay, so we've somehow got to get this all to line up. I can see that sort of folds over. Little plastic pin. And we get that on. Well, they don't make it easy, do they? See if I can get one of these screws in. I'm just going to get one screw on, and then at least it'll hold it a little bit in place while I figure out how to get the rest of the thing together. Sure, these whiz kids with the electronic fix-it channels will be laughing at this, but anyway, we'll get there eventually. That one there, and that one there. Okay, so that's in position. Now I've got to get this little ribbon cable into its connector. If I can find my tweezers. There we go. Looks to be it. Okay. I hope that's in. Looks alright, doesn't it? Okay, what's next? That's that piece, that can go out the way. Ah, remember this. This was our broken motor. So let's see what we inherited here. Now I noticed when I bought the motors they've all got different numbers on them. I'm hoping that doesn't matter. It says it's for the same model. Looks pretty reasonable to me. Oh, we got a hair in there. My dogs have been in the office. Okay, connect it in. Vibrating motor in. So that's that. Right, that can go in the bin as well. Okay. Okay, so next step I think is to put this bumper button in. Now we've got a spring here, but see how damaged that is. Don't know if you can see if I put it down on the bench there. So what we'll do, we've got our new packet of springs here. I need a few of these, I think. But yeah, there we go. So we might as well replace it with a new one rather than struggle with what we've got there. Interesting fact, my dad is or was a spring maker by trade. He's retired now, so I am very familiar with different types of springs. Not that that's particularly interesting for this video. But okay, bumper bar. There we go. That's in place. Right. Okay. Now, next step is the new battery tray and the button. This button here we've got to replace back on there, and then once we've done that, that looks good. How's that going to work? Okay. I probably should have disconnected it from the motherboard, but I'm not going to concern myself too much at the moment. So we can see there's a pin here to put it on, and there'll be a screw socket. Let's just confirm it's the same as this. Yeah, it is. So I assume it's going to be this really little tiny screw here, because we don't need anything very long for this. Okay, so that's in place. Then the battery. Now we're going to get this other button on here, but I think what I'll do is I'll actually screw this battery tray in first, just to make sure that that's all in place. Okay, so again, this is all dexterity here to try and not let go of that and get my screw onto the screwdriver. Oh, I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. This doesn't appear to be magnetic either. No, that's fine. Okay. Once we get one in, that one's in. That one's in. Okay, so that's the two screws in. I think next is battery, right? Oh yeah, one more screw, I believe. And this end here. Okay, that's that in. Now, what they call, I think they call it the shoulder button. So again, there was only one spring. Let's just see, and it's a bit compressed compared to the new ones. So I'm going to take two new springs for this. Again, there's no point in using old ones. I don't know quite what the tolerances are, but you know, the dog's chewed this up, so it can't be that good. So we pop the springs on these little pins here. Then we have to get the pins. See, there's these plastic pins on the shoulder button. We have to get those to line up, and then snap the thing in somehow, and that could be quite tricky. I'm not convinced that's right. No, let's see. Yeah, I think we're in. Finally. Right. Springs look pretty straight actually. Good. We're going to reconnect our battery, and obviously we saw that that motor thing was burnt out, so I'm hoping that we haven't got a nasty short here and it's all going to go together really nicely. So the battery would just go in here. I can probably put a bit of double-sided tape there. Right, we're on. No, we're not on. There we go. Perfect. Right. Okay, I just cut a bit of double-sided tape, so I'm just going to pop that in here. Hold the battery in place. And there we go. Perfect. Now we have to bring this piece in. Then we've got this little button, what they call a release button. There's a little notch. We just line that up, and then I think we have to screw this piece in like so. So just line that up, and I'll just get the screws. I just need to see what screws I've got left actually. I've got one screw. Maybe it is only one screw. Which goes in here. You can see Mr. Steady Hands again. Don't lose it, Paul. Don't lose the screw. Let's hold it over the mat just in case. Yeah, that's it. My magnetic screwdriver is not that magnetic, it turns out. Okay, screw that in. Right, now I think that's it. We just connect that back up. See these buttons here, SLSR. They did provide these, so we could have replaced them, but it just means taking something else apart, and to be honest, I don't think I want to do that at this stage. So we will see if we can get this into place without catching anything that we shouldn't catch. Okay, so we just make sure that they should be really neatly together. That looks quite reasonable. So now all we're left with is our 4 screws here. It looks like one of my screws is damaged again through the chewing of the dog. We get our tri-wing screwdriver, which isn't magnetic. We'll put these screws back in. This one, go for the opposite corner. They all seem a bit bent actually. Not surprised, they've been chewed up by the dog. Let's put that one in. If that one goes in, then we're laughing because that one is very bent. If I had the time, I'd go and order a new screw, but let's get this finished. Okay, so not much spring on that one. There's obviously more movement on that. Now, you see we'd have these buttons here. Battery's obviously flat, so the next thing I need to do is charge this up and see if it works. But that's the reconstruction. So we've replaced all the parts, we put it all together. It all looks like it's pretty smick. Best as we could get it. Let me charge it up and I'll report back. Okay, so I put a little bit of charge into it. You can see those buttons flashing there. So seems to be working. Now, I know nothing about Nintendo Switches. The release button works, that's the first thing. It's making a noise. I don't know. Does anybody know how you... all these buttons. That's working, and when I press these buttons they click. So I don't know how this thing works. Wants to do a system update, I'm not going to do that. Not while his battery's flat. Charge the console, soon it will go to sleep. Anyway, the fact that they're all clicking and it's working, I'm going to say that that's fixed. I'll get my son to try that out later. But that is it. So, answer to the question, my dog ate my Joy-Con, can I fix it? The answer is yes. Thanks very much everyone for watching this video. I hope it's been useful, interesting and or entertaining, and stay tuned. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to see more fix-it videos. I'm going to be doing a lot more around sort of electronics, maybe basic electronics stuff around the house. I've got a big stockpile of stuff that the kids need fixing, so I'll work my way through that, so stay tuned for the next videos. And again, thanks very much for watching.